Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining on the 89th of September, as we were just discussing. AIDA for us fits firmly into our ECM capture workflow data extraction part of the portfolio. If you've been on our webinars before, you know that this is an area we spent a fair amount of time. And in fairness, this is AIDA's version of this slide, but we've shown various versions of this kind of slide before. We know about the amount of time that businesses are spending in terms of processing paper documents or even electronic files, data entry, and just the general automation of those types of processes within organization. So I mean, Alex, you can say there, it says actually you've won loads of industry awards. There is, in fact, a slide on that, isn't there? All the various awards and bits. But do you want to give us a little bit of a timeline on the product? I think there is a slide around the timeline as well.
Sure, yeah, there might be one towards the end, but yeah, we've been around quite a while. So in terms of starting the company, that was about 10 years ago, and then our first public release was in 2019. So we've really been, the first proof of concepts were, back in the early days. So, 2015, 2016. So it's something we've been doing for 10 years. We've been doing it. That's all we do. We think we do it quite well. And we were born and bred in Italy, but we're now kind of expanding to other territories, which is why I'm here. And why.
I was going to say Max just threw Alex under his first bus, and he did all right, didn't he?
Yeah, there's a bus in the background to simulate the.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that, Alex. As I have realised, I've looked through the slide sorter, and you're right, there is a timeline one, so we can go back over that. So I should really have remembered more of the deck. But I did say if it lasts for more than a few seconds, I will have forgotten it in terms of bits and pieces. So, guys, this is conversations that we know that we're familiar with. That's not to devalue the information on the screen there, but this is very much where we saw AIDA's focus, and we liked the very approachable method that the guys brought to it. As you know, if you've spent time on our webinars before, the method that we use for selecting products is really, it's a very specific Selectec idea of exactly how does this fit, what do we think of the whole organization, what does it look like. So we really quite like the fact that AIDA are being really transparent in exactly where their focus is in terms of that data extraction. And you can read these words on the page here, but again, this is the ECM story, or the extraction story. We're looking to reduce wasted time. We're looking to reduce wasted resources and money, frankly. We're looking to nail out the human error element of it. And of course, I love those words, consequential impacts. That's a posh slide. We don't normally have that many syllables on our slides, Alex. But of course, we're talking about compliance, about error rates, we're talking about various other things like that. We really enjoy the fact that AIDA have bought this. This is what we do, this is what we're looking to do, and the messaging it is very, very clear and punchy to that point, which is really nice, especially when you are talking to customers about it. So the solution, and Alex, I think you're going to give us a very very high level little show and tell of it, so we don't need to talk about this too much. But a couple of things that really appealed to us with the solution was AIDA's got some really nice choices in terms of locations that we can get documents, data, files from, and again, some really nice boxed off methods for delivery as well. So there are a few uniques in there that we'll perhaps chime in that we know are different to other products that we have, as well as the well-knowns that you would expect to be there. But ultimately, we're looking at a product which is going to give us a lot of places to take things from, and it's going to give us a lot of places to put stuff. And of course, the more flexible that is, the more conversations we can have with people, and the more flexible in terms of design and thinking we can be as well. Do you want to chime in on this, Alex? Because there are a few things in there that I think are really unusual for a product in the space. But I mean, these are AIDA's USPs, I guess. This is where you want to go, or you could avoid the bus, and Max and I will just chew through it.
Yeah, we'll start with the unlimited word. So we tried to make things as simple as possible from almost from a commercial perspective. That obviously Max and the team will talk to you about the commercials, but effectively we make everything unlimited, apart from the number of pages which are uploaded to AIDA. So you've got unlimited document types. I'll talk about what we mean by that in a minute. Unlimited archive. So any document validated goes into an unlimited archive. Unlimited users. So there's no kind of element of scaling pricing as you increase your user base, and unlimited document relationships. Again, I can talk about that as well. And in terms of the extraction engine, it's been designed to learn from one document. So if you upload an invoice, it will have a pretty damn good go at having a good guess at what elements you need to extract from the invoice. But if you want to change a few things or add a few properties, you do that once, and then from the second document, it knows exactly the properties to take, regardless of where they are in the document, regardless of whether the format's the same or not. So yeah, those are some of the kind of standouts of AIDA.
Yeah. Again, harking back to, like I said, this is an initial launch webinar. The words that Alex just pointed out there, the unlimited element, they were things that very much resonated with us when we saw it. But for me, one of the nice things about this was taking a look at the commercial lines, the price lines, and realizing that what the guys had done is basically said that the one thing that you buy this on is the volume of pages, which is quite nice, especially if we're talking to our MPS resellers who are used to dealing with, you know, kind of volume things. We can start to look at exactly what each unit, you know, kind of has a value of. But we really liked the element that if you get AIDA, you basically get all of it apart from custom components if you wanted something specific. But there's lots of words like unlimited, there's lots of words like all included, lots of things like that. It's a really, really simple product to approach, certainly from a commercial and a pricing perspective. I think, do you agree with that, Max? I mean, you've poked it as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I've had a play around with it, and it is very straightforward. It's very simple, which is nice, because it's not, you don't have to do 6 weeks worth of learning to understand the thing. It's very much oh yeah, that's intuitive. I'll go there, and I go there, and it comes out there. And
yeah, and like I say, for me, that rolls into these commercial pieces as well. Choose your volume. Everything else is bolted into the back of it. I'm sure there are subtle exceptions for more complicated stuff, as there always is around customization or anything else. But certainly, it's a very, very approachable price file and a very understandable structure, which really did appeal to us as a way to get into stuff. And it looks nice as well, which is, as you know, a Selectec thing. There we are.
Look pretty.
That being said, there's an awful lot going on. These are some very pretty icons, Alex, as well. I don't know who you got to do these, but it's they're very pretty. There's an awful lot to the product, more than we initially thought, in fairness, when we very first saw it. In fact, Alex, I think when you very first showed us, you were very new to the organization yourself. So I don't think when we very first saw it with you, there was even you knew some of these things existed. But
Yeah.
It's
well,
growing.
I'm still learning stuff every week, because there's a lot to it when you roll your sleeves up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So again, this webinar is designed as a quick 45-minute hello Q&A intro type thing. And as you'll probably guess, Max and I are not that polished in terms of talking about it, because we keep finding new things about it as well. But we will be coming back and talking about some of these aspects, some of the bits that we really like about it, some of the USPs as well. So this is just the first intro piece. But what we have learned is that there are lots of just loads of different components and elements to AIDA. It's deeper than you might think, whilst remaining really quite simple to kind of get your head around. Once you know where everything is, it's pretty cool stuff. So it's more than just a one-trick pony, which is good to know.
Indeed.
We said, I stopped myself talking about this or asking this earlier, because I did remember that you've got some awards, and there are lots of awards and reviews and bits and pieces for it, which we're quite pleased of. Is there anything there you want to add, Alex? Anything that you guys are particularly excited about, or any directions you're taking in this way?
Well, hot off the press, obviously, is that we've been shortlisted for the Document Manager Awards in a number of categories: product to watch, company to watch, AI product of the year, capture product of the year. So yeah, we're being recognized for what we do. We tend to keep our head down and just do stuff, but I'm trying to kind of get the news out there, which is great to get some recognition.
Kind of why we're here. Hopefully the other news is less chaotic than Max and I, but people like what they like. It's fine. So you're gonna have to get your dicky bow out and go to the awards night.
I was wondering what you're going to say there, but yeah, I will get mine. I'll try and turn up.
Right. Well, that kind of webinar.
There we go. Yeah. All right. But this is important stuff, right? Is that actually having things like awards nominations, having things like recognition and reviews actually is useful, certainly from a software perspective. We do see this with some of our other products and other categories, because it shows us that the product is aligned to things that people actually need to do, like tasks that actually, you can have a really clever bit of kit, but if it's not resonating with users, it's not resonating with resellers and the channel, then obviously there's an issue. So this was, for us, certainly that we were quite excited about. We'd like to read about it, and we're cautiously optimistic that you might have quite a good evening at that award ceremony as well, Alex. So yeah, good luck. Okay, we wanted to throw this one in, guys. This is not really an AIDA or an Alex thing, although it is, because one thing that we realized quite nicely, and Alex might show you this. I don't know what you're going to be able to show us today, Alex, but AIDA works really quite nicely if you are one of our managed print resellers and you still are doing a lot in terms of MFDs and scanning. And of course, you see our green logos on there. Many of the people on our webinars, of course, know us primarily from your paper cut usage and our support of that as a product and development in that as a product as well. And what we really quite liked with AIDA is it hosts its email addresses very easily and other import sources, and it makes a really nice expansion of the PaperCut MF, PaperCut Hive advanced scanning function. We're not talking about it quite yet, but we may have a mild expansion upon that again as another piece of news in a few weeks. So I'm going to hint at that, but I'm not going to say what it is in case the timelines change or in case design changes. But we really do see this as a really lovely extension of those paper cut scanning environments. It works really nicely because it works on those very simple volume elements, and of course all the components are included, so it's not complicated to price. So this works really nicely as an attachment sale as well, a beneficial attachment sale, because the product, as we've said, is very we're really pleased with it. We think it's a really strong product, but we've played with this, it works nicely, and it really enables you to have the conversations where if we do talk about scanning, customers invariably want the magic at the back end of it, and AIDA fits in that space really beautifully. It also fits beautifully dealing with non-scan files. We'll show that, we'll talk about that. But this is a place that we are really seeing some benefit for this product in the portfolio for us. So we just wanted to put that in there. I hope that's all right, Alex, because we really think this is a nice thing, and there are 6 million embeddeds out there, so it's probably a nice thing to chat about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, right. We gave you a top quality intro slide. There you are, Alex. I was up all night working on that. What do you think? Yeah.
I don't know. I'll feed this back to our graphic designer.
Yeah.
Love the minimalist
and stuff like that. Yeah. There we go. I'm probably sure the comma's in the wrong place. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and then pass it over to you, Alex, if you want to. So again, guys, these webinars, these are brief webinars. They're about introducing stuff. They're about showing you a very high level, but unashamedly, they are very much designed to get you, give you enough information that means that you can, say, yeah, that's the thing I need to know more about. Let's get in touch with the account managers. Let's get these guys in. Let's get a proper demonstration, understanding the commercials, understanding the support, all of that good stuff. So if this doesn't answer all your questions, we'll talk about this again at the end. As always, it's Selectec. Get hold of your account manager, and I suspect they'll be getting hold of you to see what we can do about further engagement and show and tells and everything else about this. But that being said, drive on, Alex.
Lovely. Thanks, Damien. Max, just checking, how much time do you think I've got?
Well, we've got until 10:15, but
All right.
take as much
Okay.
time or as little time as you like.
We'll
Okay, I'll
listen
try and-
all day. You're fine all day. Whether anyone else is,
You've got as much time as you want.
Okay, well, I'll try and do a quick couple of demos in 15 minutes or so. If there are questions, please jump in. Yeah, as Damien said, just give a flavor of what AIDA is and what it does. Firstly, so this is AIDA. Anyone can sign up, by the way. So if you just go to aidacloud.com, you can, yes, yeah, I can do it now, in fact. If you just go here, you can sign up for a free account. Just click on enter there. I've already got an account, so it will take me into my account. And you get very limited functionality, you get very limited number of pages, but just to get a feel of what it does is always a good start. This is the landing page, which I won't dwell on too much, but as that pretty slide with the icon showed, yes, capture and extraction is at the core of what we do, but the power of AIDA is what we've added around that. And what you can do with the data that you can extract. So effectively, you can have a mini kind of dashboard based on the data that you extract. But yeah, kind of like a mini Power BI, if you're familiar with Power BI. But analysis, yeah. So this is the core of what we do. Again, we work on the basis of document types, as I mentioned. So I've created a number of different document types. I'm going to do one for a planning application, because that's something a little bit different. So if I just drag and drop, I can, as Damien alluded to, there are multiple ways you can get a document into AIDA, but you can simply just drag and drop from your desktop here with any luck. So I can drag that document I've got onto the planning application document type. And off you go. We also have, whilst this is working, we also have AIDA Hub, which is effectively a way where you can just put a document in there and AIDA will work out what type of document it is, what type of document type it is. So you don't necessarily need to drag it onto the specific document type. You can just put it in AIDA Hub and AIDA Hub will work it out for you. So yeah, it takes a moment just for this. This is our AI agent, by the way. We're not quite sure what sex it is, slightly androgynous, but is where we're developing the product a lot is around agentic AI. So not just the fact that we're using AI to extract data from documents, but we'll also increasingly be using agentic AI to make kind of low-level junior executive decisions around approval of invoices, for example. So that's a bit of a sneak preview of what's to come. But yeah, this is the document. So you can see here on the left, these are the fields and the properties that AIDA has extracted from the document. We work on a traffic light based system effectively. So if there is a mandatory property which is missing, it's red. If AIDA's not sure for whatever reason, and there's different sliding settings you can have to kind of determine the certainty that AIDA has around a property. If it's not sure, it's in orange or yellow, and if it's pretty sure, it's in green. So here, for example, this it's picked the local planning authority from this, which is a graphic. So it's not quite sure, so it just needs me to tick that button, for example. And the rest of the information looks pretty good. You can hover over the information. So this is handwritten, obviously, and broadly, yeah, AIDA doesn't have too much of a problem with being able to read that. What it can also do as well is, if you look at some of the addresses here, for example, the AI element is clever enough. Obviously, there are 3 separate fields which can be extracted separately, but AIDA is clever enough to kind of recognize all of those 3, form the address, and include the address in the address field. So once once all of the properties are green, you have the ability here to click on validate at the top right. There's a bunch of options which I won't go into for now, but you can obviously automate the flow, and then by clicking on validate, certainly the document goes into the archive. So I click on the archive and it appears here. There it is. And once it's in the archive, it's locked down, but you can see where the various elements are on the document, for example. The archive, as we said, is unlimited. And obviously you can search through the archive and you can search for things within the document. Was that a, no, wasn't the question. So
Sorry,
if I want to, someone joined, welcome.
Yep.
This is Alex from AIDA, just talking through our product. AIDA, we've just validated a document. It's gone into the archive, and you can see just by doing a quick search with blog and asterisk, it finds blogs and any related documents. And there's various other search facilities that you can do within the archive. You can search based on date, ongoing tasks, based on document type. But we're big believers in putting documents into one repository and being able to make it searchable so that you can find what you need as quickly as you need to. So that's one example of a document. I'll do another one, which is on one of the slides that Damien showed. We talk about end-to-end automation, which is really key part of what AIDA enables. So what I'll try and do now is show you. So this is the configuration screen for a given document type. As I say, when you first upload an invoice, AIDA will have a very good go at determining what you need, what properties you need to extract from that document. So this is what we've defined in this case, the properties that we need to extract and the different settings, which I won't get into. What I'll talk about here, though, is that we've created a destination. So that's where we're sending documents to. Now, this is a destination with OneDrive, which is an out-of-the-box integration possibility. We also have it with Google Drive, SharePoint, Dropbox, I think.
SAP.
But thank you very much, Max. But we also can do custom integrations and regularly do them into parties' ERP systems or what have you. But this will just hopefully give you a flavor of how an end-to-end automation can work. So I've connected my OneDrive account here. I've told it what the destination directory. I've said I want to create a new folder with a supplier name. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm also renaming the file name based on the properties extracted from the document. So in this case, the invoice date, year, month, day, and then supplier name. And then what I also have here are inputs.
Could I just touch on something you've done there? Because I tinkered around with this yesterday. The data driven, when you renamed the file based on the properties, but you can also create a folder structure based on the properties as well. So you could put invoice year, invoice month, invoice date, and create a sub archive as well. That's something I learned yesterday. Just so.
Exactly. Good work. Good work.
I'd like to also interrupt you and chime in, Alex. I'm sure you might get there, but we talked about destinations and creating subfolders. Now, AIDA is you've got a question there around outputs, FTP. There's definitely an FTP link inbound. I don't know whether it's outbound, Alex. Nick Gill and I were checking this yesterday. But what there is, given that
I'll get back to you on that question.
Yeah, AIDA is totally SaaS based. It's not a premise thing, but you guys do have an SMB connector, which means that you can write to and create directories and name files on a local disk instance from a cloud instance as well, which is a thing we really quite enjoyed about it. So there we go.
Good. I mean, I'm just doing something that I'll come back to in a minute. But just to give you a flavor of those kind of destinations. So if I wanted to create another destination, this automation, or there's also an automation to send me for an email for what it's worth. But clicking on, there we go, FTP. Thank you. That answers that question. There are various destinations that you can choose to create and set up. Some of the out-of-the-box ones that we touched on there previously. So there you go. What I've done there is that you'll see of the inputs. There was an email input, and there's a dedicated email address for every document type. So I've just copied that. I've taken an invoice, dragged and dropped, and I will send that invoice to that email address, and then with any luck, 2 things will happen, maybe even 3 things should happen. One is the document should go into the archive. The second is that it should go into the appropriate OneDrive folder and be renamed. And the third is that I probably received an email somewhere with the output as well. So if I go to here, so these are my files on my OneDrive account, and if I click on documents, we said we wanted to create it in the invoices folder. We said we wanted to create a separate folder based on the supplier name, so that's the supplier name, and then there it is. A few seconds ago, there's our document. So I mean, that's just to give you an idea of the automation. You know, that's a document going into a folder, but that could easily be data spitting into ERP system for inventory levels to be updated, for invoices to be sent out. The idea is that it's, again, automated from end to end, and then we'll see, as with any document which gets validated, that one should also have appeared. Oh, it's just in the archive. I think I've clicked on something, the wrong button, the date. Oh,
It wouldn't be a demo if you can click something right.
You're going.
it would be. I've clicked on something to order things separately. Is it in here?
Yeah.
You click on index date up. It should be down, I believe.
Max. There you are. Save me, Max. Thank you very much. There you go. There it is. So there's the document.
There, Alex, I don't know if you saw it around the API integration. I don't know whether you want to answer that or whether we can sort of take that one as an offline thing.
Yeah, so absolutely, as I say, kind of API integrations. There's API in the input, so we can support that. And on the output, yeah, depending on what you need, again, it's very much bread and butter of what we offer. So typically it's via a webhook, but now I'm getting onto the very edge of my technical expertise. So, Damien, if you want to pick up from there, then feel free.
Yes, we can do a destination into an API for whomever asked that. It's a custom development.
Yes.
So it's not an out of the box thing, but we can work with you on that and give you a project cost if that's something you require. Client apps we've also been asked about. So there is a Xerox client app, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yep.
For everything else, it would be either scan to email or scan to another destination and then picked up by AIDA.
And again, guys, unashamedly, our embedded strategy very much is around the PaperCut MF, PaperCut Hive product. So, Alex, I don't think we can talk too openly, but this does integrate nicely, using the email function. But we're looking to expand upon that as well. So keep an eye out for potential other product news in that direction. But if you want an embedded client, get a green one because they work on just about everything and it's consistent whether it's on-prem or in cloud. And the support's going to be brilliant. So give us a call about that as well.
Yeah. The archive is hosted, I believe it's AWS, isn't it, Alex?
That's right. Yeah.
UK-based AWS. So and it can be alternatively somewhere in Europe if that's required.
Correct. Yeah. Just one other element I think I might show is just we talked about document relationships in the presentation. This is the idea of document relationships. So I've kind of just drafted kind of a fake purchase order in invoice, and I've created a relationship between those two document types. So I have a purchase order here, for example, with all the numbers, 427. If I just want to see whether the invoice kind of matches up with that, there it is. I can kind of go straight to the invoice and navigate between the two. So you could then have delivery notes also related to those as well, enabling ease of navigation. And what we're currently in beta testing is just going a one step further than just relating documents, but also to where we're effectively checking, for example, if you've invoiced me for 10 bikes, have I received delivery notes, delivery of those documents, so of those products. So if you've received 6 bikes, you'll have a kind of alert under task. We haven't talked about task too much. You'll have an alert under task to say there's still 4 bikes to be delivered before effectively you pay this invoice. So yeah, watch out for that one as well.
Yeah, that's very clever. You can send out calendar invites and things like that based on the date on the invoice. So really, really smart stuff. We've had a couple of other questions. The pricing model is based on documents processed or pages processed. So you get a volume per year. You work through those. If you need to go above that, you move up to the next tier. So it's tiered licensing, but it is unlimited users, unlimited storage in the archive, unlimited document types. So each document type can have its own email address, for example, and unlimited relationships, which is what Alex just covered off there. Hopefully that answers your question. If you want a more in-depth understanding of the pricing model and how much you get per tier, reach out to us and we'll run through that quite happily with you.
That's a constant message on these things, guys. These are, you know, these are just an intro. There's no way that you could get a really good understanding of this product, regardless of how good your demo is, Alex, in 20 minutes. This thing really is worth climbing around. Do go to AIDA Cloud and get yourself an account. For people on the call that are more technical, you'll realize that the auth is both varied and very well resolved. To be fair, it was one of the things we liked about it. Again, that worked nicely. There's an awful lot to it. I would like to mention just that email thing. It's a really, really simple thing, but in a lot of captured products, you do have the agony of dealing with 365 mail or Google Mail and secrets and keys and stuff. The fact that this just generates an inbound email address. Again, we know a huge amount of the documents that we're dealing with are electronic. It's not only about the scanning, and we're very focused on that. But it does mean that if you're setting up an MFP for scanning using something like the paper cut thing, or just in fact scan to mail, makes that super easy. We're not having to worry about configuring stuff with 365 bits. It was a feature that's worth that. The SMB and the email thing are very, very tiny fragments in terms of what we found in AIDA, but they're two things that make it super simple to onboard and get customers using, which is a nice thing. That's probably one of the headlines for me, is just how approachable this thing is really quickly. It's fully cloud, yet you can still write to SMB. You can chuck stuff off of your copy or your local thing via an email address and get it working really quickly, which is always a win. I mean, Alex, I know you could show us endless amounts of clever.
Yeah. Someone asked a question there, I think, about the matching and line items. I couldn't read all of the question. Have you got that one there, Max?
With auto matching, just discussed, with the invoice, for example, be able to line item match against the delivery note and PO.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's exactly how it's been conceived. So here, for example, is the document in the archive. So I mean, it is effectively a table, but there's only one line item. But AIDA has the capability to extract line items. So that's from on the invoice side. And then the idea is that you can say, right, this is the purchase order. Does that match with the invoice? And then does the invoice match with the delivery note? And well, exactly the use case you described. Whoever asked the question. The idea is that you're matching delivery notes, number of products delivered versus what's been ordered and or invoiced. That's absolutely what's AIDA Match has been designed to do. So watch this space for more information on
that. One last question, hello Dave. Can you use hot folders from SMB shares? So there is an AIDA client.
Yeah, I don't think So the SMB client, I would like to be proved wrong, but I think the SMB client, you can write to that, but I don't believe you can read from that. Mr. Gill and I were playing with, well, Mr. Gill was playing with it, but I think it's a write SMB client versus a read SMB client. No real need for it though, guys. You've got email, you've got SMTP, sorry, not SMTP, you've got FTP, you've got drag and drop, you can even WhatsApp stuff. So there's a million different ways to get there.
I mean, there is API on the input side. Is that where the question is going, or
it's SMB can I scan to a local folder on a network and have that synchronize up? And we know it synchronizes down. I don't think it synchronizes up. Okay,
I'm going to take your word on that, Damien. But yeah, I'll speak with my people.
I'm probably there's at least a solid 86% chance I'm wrong, and we'll come back to you. So was that? Who was that, Max? Was that Mr. Stevens?
That's Mr. Stevens.
Hello, Mr. Stevens. I haven't spoken to you for a good time. So we'll confirm that and let you know directly. Like we said, guys, product is massive. We're not going to get anywhere near through all of it in 45 minutes. So get hold of your account managers, or we'll get hold of you. We've got another question about SharePoint integration, Alex, and we know that there's some of that.
Yep. Yeah, we're integrated with SharePoint. That's one of them. I'll just show it here. Where is it?
Just above that.
Just
there
above
it is.
There you go.
SharePoint. And someone was also asking about mobile apps. So we have a iOS app. So that's definitely a use case. So we haven't talked about case studies, but one cool one we have is for a meat importer in Italy. They get crates of boxes of meat, and effectively they need to update their inventory. And each box has, the delivery note for the whole package, and then each box has separate, contents description. So an operative in the warehouse effectively takes a photo of the four sides of the crate with all the stickers on, and as AIDA is able to extract all the data from the relevant relevant status and notes and the like, and then push that directly into their ERP system in updating their inventory levels. So yeah, that's done with the iOS mobile app. We're waiting for a good reason to kind of develop the Android one, but we've done the iOS one in a way which would make the development of the Android one relatively straightforward as soon as we have the commercial imperative.
So just to touch on that as well, thank you, Alex. It's a Windows, it's a web-based app, so you can access it from anywhere. So there's not a requirement for a client on a Windows or a Mac. You would simply pause the web page, drag and drop, click and upload. There's multiple ways of getting things in there as well. You can even share links for users outside of AIDA to add things into as well.
Lovely. Here, in case people are interested, there's also integration with forms, so you can send a form, for example, directly to AIDA, and that will also appear in AIDA. AIDA can also do some fairly nifty things with completing a form, for example. So I had an ID document up here. So if you wanted to complete a form, if you want to see my Italian ID, this is what it looks like. So I can
like a handlebar mustache. No, you've missed an opportunity there, mate. No.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Next time. But yeah, so AIDA can extract information from that, and effectively it can use that to complete templates. So I've got a employment contract with a bunch of spaces for my name and surname, so I can effectively export that data into that form, so it completes a form in that way. So if there's any requirements around forms in either direction, then yeah, that's likely something that we can support as well.
Cool.
Look at that.
I think we're on time. I'll shut up now. Yeah, so this is the form that we just submitted. There it is, very simple. But hopefully gives you some kind of idea and an impression of what AIDA does. But as the guys say, we've barely scratched the surface. So if there's anything in there which you think has piqued your interest, yeah, then get in touch with the guys and we'll be more than happy to have a conversation.
Well, again, have we got any more questions? There was a question there about browser support. I don't know if you've got an answer, a formal answer for that, Alex.
I'm not aware that there's any browser that we don't support.
No, I'm a Mac user, as is famously listed in all of our webinars, and most things fall over in Safari, and it works in that, which is usually, if something's going to go wrong, it'll be on my Mac in Safari, and it's behaving beautifully in there. So I've personally used it in Firefox, Chrome, and Safari, and all of them behaved as is. And I'm guessing, Max, you've launched it across most of the Windows browsers as well.
Chrome, Edge, yeah, not had any issues yet.
No, grand.
There was a quick question there around security certifications. So if you go to our homepage and then under platform, click on security and certifications, you get a bunch of information in here about it. But suffice to say, yes, so there's end-to-end encryption. Yeah, suffice to say, we're hosted with AWS, so that comes with all the security you would expect from being hosted with them, and all the certificates. I think there are over 300 certificates that we have if needs be. So I think we're pretty good on that stage. But yeah, we are 100% hosted in the cloud. We don't have an on-premise version now, so if that is a requirement, that would probably be a showstopper, but depends on the nature of the opportunity.
All right, okay. Well, like we said, it's almost a shame that this is only a 45-minute session, because there is an awful lot to the product. There's certainly more than you can get a flavor for in this limited amount of time. That said, thanks very much for showing us, Alex. The technical guys, so for the people on the call, the guys who have played with this, Mr. Gill, Mr. Lees, Mr. Mallion, they've all had a better poke of it than we have. I've been enjoying the pretty icons and the fact that it looks nice, and I love the dashboardy stuff, which is great. But we're on a journey with this. We're really starting to find out what we can do with it. We're impressed with it. It's very much a case, guys, of rather than us trying to cram stuff into a webinar that would just simply be too long and painful for everybody to get to. As we always say, get hold of your account managers, get hold of us on Slack, call in. I think that QR code will take you to a form to get, to set up a continued conversation with us. We're going to be reaching out to you anyway. It's also safe to say that this is a product which is moving quickly. You've got a lot of new functions and stuff coming along, so these should become relatively frequent sessions in terms of showing new things or bringing new stuff out, or as we find new cool stuff, we'll just make videos or add them to our YouTube channels or whatever it might be. But as we keep saying, get hold of your account managers, get in on this thing. AIDA is coming into the, it's relatively fresh to the geography, simply because the guy's been busy elsewhere. It's a unicorn from that perspective. As we said, we like products that have got a really good history, they're really well developed, but lots of people haven't heard of them yet, because it's a lovely thing to get the opportunity to take to market. So is that the QR code? Get hold of your account managers. Any questions we didn't